Hi, I'm Brad Knowles, producer of Friday Night Flies, hosted by Scott LeBoldus and Scotty Holmes. Enjoy the show.
Well, it's Friday night. We're a little bit late, but better late than never. Yeah. Got my sweethearts in the background, so if you hear little feet, or actually you can kind of see her here if you look in the bottom camera. Hey, Jordan. Anyhow, we're posting up, staying safe from all the vid. And Jordan, check out these two little weirdos. This is why we're running a little late today. I had my two little ones, or I guess that'd be my two oldest of the little ones, with me out on one of the little lakes in town, and as you can tell, no one was having any fun whatsoever, eh, Jordan?
Right.
Hey? Just because the dreaded COVID's in town, or wherever the hell it is.
You can still have fun.
That's right. You know, that invisible
enemy.
enemy.
Go camping or fishing.
That's right. Go out, enjoy the outdoors, and just remember to keep your hands away from your face. Hey, you can't kick the camera. Keep your hands away from your face. Wash your hands. And if you're not feeling good, stay home.
For like a couple
That's
days.
right. Stay home. If you're not feeling good, stay home. So you don't get everybody else sick. Anyhow, last week I was late to the party because we were off on another fishing trip over in the interior of British Columbia, and we were having an absolute blast catching a bunch of big rainbows. And it's that time of year where everybody's tying chironomids again, and I'd like to announce again that Bill Borland, you're the man. Dude, you've got a fan. You got more fans than the Vancouver Canucks. You got more fans than the goddamn Vancouver Canucks. And hey, we really appreciate everybody's entries on the Chironomid thing. We had a lot of good feedback, a lot of real fishy recipes shared with us. And I think because of that, we're gonna do it again. Let's keep it to the Chironomids because it's Chironomid season, and there are a lot of die-hard Chironomid fly fishermen out there, and a lot of Chironomid die-hard tires out there. So if you want to grab that little box,
right here?
Yeah, that box right there. I got a box of goodies that we're going to give
Tons
away.
of goodies.
Solarez is one of our sponsors. And hey, how about this week? I think this is a pretty darn good prize. Let's give away, we're going to give away a Solarez Roadie Kit. If you ain't got one of these, you know what this would be awesome for? This would be awesome to put in your little compact road traveling kit in your camper or your camping gear, and be able to tie chironomids on the side of a lake in the middle of nowhere, because you're bound to get something that you ain't got with you, and you can whip it up in a heartbeat.
And if you forgot food, you can just go fishing right
there you go. My daughter's full of great ideas tonight. If you're starving, you can go and catch a fish after you tie a fly with Solarez and cook it over a fire. So anyhow, I've got a super simple pattern. Let's go down. We'll talk about it in a couple seconds here. There's a magical little pattern. It's hard to see right now because it's so black. It's blacker than black. It's so black. There we go. We'll lift the light off of it a little bit. As I'm getting older, I'm needing a little bit more light for these failing eyes of mine. But I assure you, still pretty. Yeah, well, you got young eyes here, young lady. Anyhow, so what we've got here is a real simple pattern. It's black glitter thread. I know there's a couple different companies that make it. I'm just trying to think of the other one. Superfly is the one that I used to use, but there's also another company called Pro Tire that makes it as well. So if you're looking online for it, Pro Tire or Superfly, and the one I'm using tonight is the black glitter thread, Super Glitter in a 230 denier in black. And for the rib, we're using silver uni French in oval small. Deadly. And I'm tying it a bit bigger than I probably would just for camera reasons. This is a size 10 Daiichi 1760. So let's get busy tying this fly. So Jordan, was it fun out there fishing? I might as well let you have a little bit of what happened out on the boat tonight.
So let's see. I got a really good fly, and I was so lucky. I got 2 fish.
You were the only one.
Let's see.
She was the only one that got fish tonight.
And when we got off of the boat, I rubbed it in people's faces.
Oh yeah, she gave it to all the boys. There was a few campers down there that got beat up too, but anyhow, we'll leave it at that. So, girl power was in the house tonight. The young lady whooped all the boys' butts in the campground. So, you want to start out with your hook somewhat level. I've got size 10 hook, and I'm running 2.8 mil or 764 bead by our good friends over at Tasty Tackle. Great beads. So I learned a little trick over the weekend here, how to proportion your fly to chironomids. And it goes a little bit like this. You start out at the back of your fly, and the width of your bead is how much you segment down the fly. So you're going to go even wraps, overlapping wraps, about the width of your bead, work your way back up, work your way back down, and you're going to go the same distance as your bead width, and then overlap back. And I had no idea about this trick until our good friend over there at BC Fly Guy was holding a little bit of a party last night on his Instagram channel. If you guys have got a chance to go over there, check it out, man. He's got a great following, great channel, and he'll fill you in on all the information you need to fish the interior. So we're gonna go the width of the bead again and work our way back, and it just almost makes your fly the perfect thickness and perfect taper until you're about 3/4 of the way back down. So you're gonna go about the thickness of the fly one more, or the bead one more time. Work your way back up, overlapping all the way back up to the bead. You can see we're getting a perfect taper here. And then this time you're gonna go all the way down to the curve. So look at that perfect taper to your fly. So as you get down here, I always want to put a little bit of a spin in your bobbin. If you don't, especially with this glitter thread, it does not, it wants to kind of break apart. So we're going to work our way down just till the hook starts to disappear into the bend. We're going to get this nice little chunk of that silver small oval tinsel tied in off the side of the hook at the bend. Pretty straightforward stuff. Lock it in. Lock it down. Oh. Why are you not wanting to lay in there? Get into your home. There we go. Gotcha. Okay. And then work our way back up, overlapping the whole way back up to the bead. I'm going to show you another little trick here. The thing with this oval or this glitter thread is that it is not something that really likes whip finishing all that well. So what you're going to want to do is swap out your thread at the head and make sure you bury it well with another good thread. So a couple, yeah, if you go any more than 2 wraps on your whip finishing tool, you're going to find that it's very difficult to get that knot through. Whoa. We got a little bit of a problem here. When I cut it, okay, so we're going save mode here. See how we did that? Okay. Occasionally, you get a little bit of a hiccup, and that was one of them. And what I've done here is you find with chironomids, they usually have like a little bit of a husk at the head of the fly, and then a white lung, and that's why the white bead works in really well. And if you find that the white bead isn't doing it for you, bring along a black Jiffy marker. You'll find that that black Jiffy marker can color white really quick and save your day if you don't have any more blackhead. Or so we got this guy locked in. Bring the bottom cradle. Some guys like to do it by freehand. I like to use my rotary features. I find that I can get my wraps perfect, as I can see all the way around. We're just going to bring that oval tinsel up somewhat evenly the whole way up, and as you get closer to the head, you're going to want to space out the wraps just a little bit more until you get up onto that rusty brown. Is this rusty brown? Burnt orange. The rusty brown and burnt orange are pretty close to the same, especially once you hit it with the solar, as it tends to darken it up quite a bit. But I'll tell you one thing, I sure have been having a blast chironomid fishing this year, more so than I have in the past. As most people already know, we're not guiding right now. We're all sitting at home on the EI train and loving every minute of it. But yeah, usually this time of year we'd be just wrapping up our steelhead season, and but because of this pandemic that's going around, I've been able to spend a little bit more time with my kids. I've been fishing the local waters a little bit differently than I typically would be, and trying some new stuff out. It's been pretty nice. So anyhow, you can get that little bit of a whip finish in there, and bring your rotary vise up and make sure that you get it nice and nipped close in there. If you got any stragglers, get rid of them too while you're at it. So you can fish it the way it is right here, just like so. Very nice. Or you can one-up it, and we'll go over and use our bone dry from Solarez. Solarez makes your chironomids damn near nuke proof. So I'm getting pretty low on the Solarez in this bottle. Thank God I've got about 50 other bottles of it. Busting into that one here real soon. But as you can see, when you're applying the Solarez to this body, it not only armors it, but it does change the color of your chironomids. Makes them a little bit darker. So keep that in mind. If you want to keep your patterns really light, try some without. I just like the look of them, and I really like how they are damn near bulletproof. So now that that's on there, hit this with the Solarez light. You can see how that thing's shimmering in the light. See the glitter? That's why they call it black glitter. This the lighting in my room here is difficult to show exactly how much that black glitter thread has a shimmer to it, but I assure you, fish can see, well, you can kind of see it shimmering in the background. But this is a dynamite pattern. I've caught lots of fish on it. Super simple. We're going to go up top here, and we're going to talk a little bit about it. So I know when people first get the chironomid bug, it's really easy to get lost in that black tunnel, and that's what we said in the description for this video, is that you're going to end up tying a ton of like the coolest chironomids ever made. You'll think you've created the very first of its kind, which you probably haven't, but the reality is that those killer chironomids that you've tied probably will never get used, because when you start getting a little bit more serious about chironomid fishing, you're going to start pumping fish's stomachs, and you're going to start looking at what they're eating, and then you're going to compare it to what you have in your fly box that you've been sitting there trying to make the coolest chironomids, and you're going to find that they look nothing like what the fish are eating. And what I always tell people when we're out guiding is that you're better to have a lot of neutral colors, like your olives, your greens, grays are really good, and blacks. Blacks are super good. And I always have a good selection of chromies. I've got a anti-static bag. You get these guys, and make sure you tie with anti-static bags. I'll tell you one thing: when all said and done, and they're not eating anything, or you're struggling to get on them, anti-static bag chironomids are a sure winner. And you're going to find that most of the time, matching the size and depth is probably more important than any color that you're going to come across. And we found that out in the interior of British Columbia last week. Pretty crazy. It's if you're in the right zone and you got the right size, fish when they're feeding and you're pumping and they've got every color in their belly, it really doesn't matter what you're using as long as you're in that same zone with the same size and depth. So anyhow, Friday night flies. We're going to carry on. I'm going to tie another neutral color. I'm probably going to tie a gray with a gold bead. That's another really good pattern. Chromies have been pounded to shreds on the internet, so we're going to try doing a few neutral ones. And if you guys have got some killer neutral colors or some chromies or anti-chironomids that we just can't live without, I got a nice little gift in the mail here yesterday or the day before from Bill Borland. He sent me this beautiful little fly box. There was a popper in there as well, so I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but look at that popper, man. Huge! Can't wait to throw that for some bull trout or something at a creek mouth. But he sent me one of his favorites. There's some buzzers in there. There's a whole list. I shared a picture of the ingredients and contents of this fly box on our Facebook page, so if you guys are bored and want to head on over there. And I'd also like to try some new stuff maybe tomorrow or tonight if people want to get together and do like a group tying session. I was thinking of setting up a Google meeting, and we can all sit back and whatever it is you drink and just keep it kid friendly. We can all sit back and set up a Google Meet and chat and tie flies together or whichever. But that's another time here. We got one more show for you tonight, and we'll keep it rolling. So anyhow, stick around. I'll be back. Better late than never.